What is good, boys? So today, I want to talk about a couple of thoughts that I had. It actually starts with a kind of interaction I had. In fact, let's make this personal. Let me just hold this. So, about 2 weeks ago, I was looking for a prom suit. I was looking for a suit to wear for prom, and just a suit in general because I wanted a nice suit to have. Because last time I got a suit I got a tuxedo that was only could wear for prom. I wanted a suit that I could wear to various occasions, right? So I made a trip into central London, into Oxford Street and around there, and I was looking for a suit. And then I decided to take a little detour. I started to venture off behind Oxford Street, behind basically where Mayfair is. And I'd actually never been there. I actually only I've heard about Mayfair, it's the richest area in London. The house prices on average are like 10 mil, 6 mil, something crazy like that, right? And you see all these entrepreneurs, all these rich people, like the Iman Godzis, they're always like chilling around there, right? And I was like, bro, I've actually never ever been here. So I was like, let me just explore, go on a little side quest, just see what it's all about. And that was probably genuinely one of the most eye-opening experiences that I actually had. It really made me realize how much money there is out there. Like it was just insane. Like I had to walk down Savile Row because I just wanted to see what the suits were like in there. I was never gonna buy one because I'm not there yet to spend like 5K on a suit. But soon come we will be. We'll be like James Bond, getting tailored suit in there. But I just had to walk down there and bro, it just everything would just looked so high level, and there's just seemed like so much money was around, and people that were walking down those streets as well, all nicely dressed and everything. The smell of the cologne and the jewelry on the women, everything was just like the rich like wealth was like truly there. And I turned around the corner onto some other street and there was just a $2 million car just parked randomly on the street. It was a Ford GT for anyone that wanted to know, but like I was just there, like I literally went around the corner. I was like, hold on, that doesn't look like a normal car because the exhaust tips were like quite high up. So I was like, is that a Pagani or something like that? And no, it was a Ford GT. I'd never seen one before, but $2 million car just casually parked, and it's outside of like a cafe as well. It just made me really think, like, bro, there's a guy who has a $2 million car, and he's just having a coffee or something outside a cafe, and he's just like, yeah, let me just park this in the middle of the road. No other cars about, just this fucking $2 million car. And it was just like, there's real wealth out there. There's real people that have this money. And I was just there like, what has he done? Like $2 million car is insane. Like when you actually deep the value of $2 million, like most people in the UK, their first car is going to be like $5,000, which is what? Less than 1% of 2 mil. So like, to think that someone has enough cash flow or just capital in general to just dump on a car for 2 mil, it just genuinely blew my mind. And yeah, so I just kept walking, and you walk around, you see all these blacked out Range Rovers, these Mercedes S classes, and like rolling up, and then people getting out, and like you sense the kind of the atmosphere. Like I was just walking past, I don't remember what street it was. It might have been somewhere in Mayfair, near a hotel or something, and I just see someone getting out of this like massive blacked out Range Rover, suited up perfectly, and they just, I don't know, it just like I don't want to use the cringe word, but you could feel the aura of these people, right? And it just made me realize how much money there is in this world, right? Like literally. And then it's like, okay, cool. If there's all this money in the world, like there's this wealth that's everywhere, then surely it's just a means of capturing where it's going. And like a waterfall, like the way that the water works in the world, that it's like we got taught this in like primary school, like the water cycle. So you have the sea, sun heats, the sun evaporates the water, and then the water condenses, forms into clouds, then the clouds rain, and then the rain falls onto like mountains, the gravity goes down into the ground and eventually back into the sea. That's kind of how money works as well. Like obviously it's fake, technically speaking, the Fed prints all the money. That's a separate issue. But money in general is just a cycle, right? And it just really became really obvious to me after doing that walk that like it's really just There's so much fucking money out there. There's so much money. And it genuinely just a means of like, where can you best capture where it's flowing? Like, what is the best point at which you can get into that cycle? Because of course, you know, the way the money flows, there are different ways that you can capture that money. You can be working a 9 to 5 job. You can be doing loads of hard work. You know, for example, you can be a builder, right? You'll get paid, and that money is moved around from the business, the owner. You know, the business owner is paying his employees, and then that money could probably come from an angel investor in the company, or well, not an angel investor, but some kind of private equity firm that's investing into the business. You know what I'm saying? Like, the money flows everywhere. So it really depends on where you are in the cycle. And so then it also got me thinking then, well, then what are the main things that that cause money to flow? And ultimately it's just the trade of value, right? It's just solving a problem and providing a solution. So then it gets me thinking like, okay, so what are like the main things that you can look at? And it really starts to make so much sense, right? It really just comes down to human psychology and like, what are the needs, the needs of the human that everyone will have problems for and want solving for of them. So, for example, wealth, health, mind. So, like, you know, your mental health, spiritual. So, like religion and that kind of stuff, and then relationships. Though I feel like those are like the 5 basic things to human needs, right? Because you need money. Without money, you pretty much can't do anything in this world. And then health, you need that to, you know, physically be in a good state that allows you to do other things. Like you have to have, generally speaking, all of those at a good point, which is quite hard to do. But there's just saying, out of all of those 5 problems, I feel like if you just jump anywhere in between those problems and you can provide a solution, like for example, let's say you have a relationship, right? There's so many different kind of things you can have, especially now with online coaches. All of those kind of 5 things I just mentioned. Like, I feel like if you went into a space where it's online, where the money is 10x because the leverage is higher, like for example, a relationship coach, right? A dating coach that tells you, you know, how to speak to girls or how to improve your relationship, etc. That kind of thing. People can sell high ticket courses on that for like 4, 5, 6 grand. They do it, right? And so it really just, this is something that Andrew Kirby was speaking about as well. I never actually fully grasped what he was saying, but his whole synthesizer thing, where it's like you learn something very, very well, and then you simply sell that knowledge. And it just made so much sense that like, if you learn any in depth, and obviously there's so many niches to wealth, to health. Like you could be a supplement coach, for example, or you could be a physiotherapist, you could be a, you know, personal trainer. There's so many different niches within each topic. Spirituality, you can have, you know, astronomy, all that BS, and you can have a religious advisor. I didn't even know that I don't think that's something, but you get the point, right? There is niches, sub niches within all of these like 5 main categories that I mentioned, and so it just comes down to, I guess there's 2 approaches you can have here as well. You can either be the person that is the knowledgeable person, the person that learns the expertise. So you either become the person that is qualified to teach about relationship, about wealth, about health, right? Or, which is what I think makes the most sense, and which is kind of what a lot of the online spaces at the moment with agencies, growth operating, and that kind of stuff, is you help the people that have the knowledge scale that business, right? So because a lot of this stuff is online, you have online coaches or creators that have this knowledge, but they don't know the ins and outs on how to leverage their expertise in the online space to make money. And so that's where you can then catch into this flow of money by being the person that helps these experts scale their brand. You help them out with the business. They run all their their offer of their coaching solution, right? But you just help the business side of that. And then there you go. You're capturing a part of that cycle where that flow of money goes from the consumer, from the person that wants the knowledge from the expert to solve their problem. You're there orchestrating that in a different way, but you're still capturing the money. I hope that makes sense. But like, it's just saying that I was really like deeping, like, there's so much money out there. And so it really, really, really is just the means of where can you best position yourself to capture that flow of money? Like, and so, yeah, it's just like this. It really makes me think there's so many different possible ways of making money, like loads, especially in this online space. You really just have to choose a vehicle that you want to take and become very, very, very good. Right, and that's the key difference here. The whole thing with the online business stuff is the leverage. It's just like Naval Ravikant said. It's he was like, it's no longer between poor versus rich or blue collar versus white collar. Um, it's between leveraged and non-leveraged, because you can have someone that works very, very, very hard, like a neurosurgeon, for example. They'll have a, a pretty good salary, and they'll work extremely, extremely hard, really long hours, really difficult job. But then there'll be someone that runs a business that makes 5 times what they make per year in a month, and they're doing a lot less work, but they're getting a completely different output. So that's why, Naval Ravikant, his quote is so true about how it really is just between the vehicle you choose and how much leverage that has. So that's why it really just gets me thinking. I think that this online space is definitely the way forward, because the leverage in it is like, the ceiling is so much higher than a regular job, because you have access to so many more people. You have systems that can be replicated so easily. I mean, that's just part of a business. But yeah, I've just really, really started to understand how money seems to be flowing. And so I hope I can try and position myself correctly to take part of that waterfall of money that just keeps cycling. But yeah,